Well, Ryan, I have a feeling that handicappers and all the odds makers are now looking at the Derby in a completely different way.
Right. You know, Hallery Hunter, most predicted third in the Bluegrass Stakes. Look what he did.
Yeah.
You know, he won the Bluegrass Stakes. He probably not too happy about that, was he?
Nah, probably
Up in
not.
Boston.
Not a
probably didn't
thrill
celebrate
or anything.
a bit. No, not at all. Well, two horses that figured to be top contenders in the upcoming Kentucky Derby are now out of the Derby picture. Lil's Lad has a chipped bone in his left front ankle, which will force him to miss the Derby. Lil's Lad was the favorite to win the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes on Saturday, but he finished second to Rick Pitino's Hallery Hunter. The chip was discovered yesterday. Trainer Neil Howard said arthroscopic surgery will probably be performed in the next 24 hours, and he thinks the colt could race in Saratoga in August or September. Owner Will Ferry said the horse had been bothered by something in the last couple of races. Now they know what it is. Wood Memorial winner Coronado's Quest will also not be running in the Derby. Coronado's Quest threw tantrums while being saddled for 3 races this year at Gulfstream Park, and although he seemed to behave properly at the Wood, trainer Shug McGahee said he couldn't risk going to Churchill Downs and have everything become unraveled. McGahee did say running in the Preakness is still a possibility. Coming to UK to play football for Hal Mumme wasn't even a possibility for James Whalen. That is, until his dad got involved. Whalen's dad got a job in the area and told his son he wanted him to come to Kentucky. And Whalen says the rest is history. The 6'4 junior is a JUCO transfer out of Shasta College in California. This spring, he's adjusting to a position change from wide receiver to tight end. In last Saturday's scrimmage, Whalen had 8 catches for 98 yards plus an 18-yard touchdown play. But Whalen is very modest about his accomplishments.
I haven't had as good a spring as I'd like. Things on Saturday just fell into place, so I think most of all the credit goes to Dusty Bonner and then the offensive line, of course. Dusty had a tremendous day. All I did was run, and he put the ball right on the money. I mean, the rest is up to him and the offensive line. I just kind of showed up one day at Coach Bowman's office, gave him a little knock, and said, here's a little film. Is there any way I can play in your program? We watched the film together, and he said, I wouldn't mind if it came out October 6th.
The Cats will have another scrimmage next Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Tomb. Their annual blue-white game is set for Saturday the 25th. In NASCAR, the Petty family legacy continues. In this week's NASCAR recap, Gary Motorhead Johnson tells us how the King got to see his grandson become the 4th generation of Petty stock car racers to compete.
And Rusty Wallace has won.
Richard Petty's grandson, Kyle Petty's son, Adam Petty, making his first big step toward a pro driving career Saturday night. Adam Petty competing at an American Speed Association event just outside of Atlanta Saturday night. Petty driving the number 45 Spree Foam Card Pontiac at the Peach State Speedway against some experienced short track racers. Adam ran as high as 7th at one point. He did get caught up in a crash that busted up his radiator. And none other than the King and Kyle Petty were there to get the young gun back on the track. Petty didn't do too bad when he got back out. He placed 19th when the race was over. But Adam Petty getting ASA start number 1 under his belt, and it helped get rid of the rookie butterflies.
I was a little bit nervous getting into the start. You know, I don't know if I was nervous of myself, but I was nervous of these other guys. They've been talked about. You know, they are the best short track racers in the country. So I guess I was just a little intimidated. But when you get out there and their car's tight just like yours, or their car's loose just like yours, you figure out you can run with them, and I had fun.
And spoken like a true Petty, the chip off the old engine block, felt he had a top 5 car all night.
We come in here, and all I wanted to do was finish with all the fenders on it. One of my goals wasn't met, but hey, you know, and get some valuable points. That's why we were. If we weren't running for points, we would have parked it there just to not tear everything up. But we're running for points. Even if we ended up with 18th, 19th, 20th place finish, that gives you a good start. It's early in the season. You got a long ways to go, and I think we'll be okay.
Next stop for Adam Petty will be at Nashville, where he's been successful as a late model driver. With the ASA Racing recap this week, Gary Johnson, 18 Action Sports.
Thanks, Motorhead. And have you seen the exciting finish to the New York Knicks Miami Heat game last night? Here it is. With time running out, former Kentucky Mr. Basketball Allen Houston throws one up at the buzzer. Here it comes. It goes in, but the referees wave it off, saying it came after the buzzer. You're going to get another look at it here. The Knicks plan to file a protest today with NBA Commissioner David Stern, but you can see on the replay there was at least 0.2 of a second left. For now, Miami got the win 82-83. 81. Stay tuned. We'll talk a little Kentucky Thoroughblades in the next half hour in sports.
All right, we'll be here. Thanks,
All right.
Ryan. Well, coming up at 6:30, we know Lexington's a great place to live, but now the world knows, thanks to a new study and some great publicity. We're going to show you why we're such a hot spot coming up.